Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Bernadette Strode. I'm out of the New Haven, Connecticut area, and it is truly a pleasure to be here with you all this evening on this occasion. Let me first thank and introduce to you my upline friend. I could go on and on about her, the wonderful person that you're about to meet this evening. Her name is Verdita Monk. I met Verdita, maybe about 20 years ago I met you. We were doing a network marketing business together, and I just admired her so very much. Her work ethics are just unbelievable, and I call her the number person. So when I want to know about numbers, I call Verdita. Let me just tell you a little bit about why and how I got to where I am today, and I'm glad that all of you are here today to join me. So I want to say about 5 months ago, I was looking for something else to do. I was introduced to another business, and I called Verdita and I said, hey, listen, I got something I want you to take a look at. And so she listened, as Verdita would do. She listened to what I had to say. And then she said to me, she said, Bern, she says, I don't think I'm going to look at anything else right now because I'm involved with something. And so she shared with me what she was involved with. And I said, oh, okay, well, you know what? Let's keep in touch. And we will, see each other somewhere along the way. Fast forward, I started hearing about some of the positiveness, some of the reactions that people were getting that were on the patches. So, of course, I had to hear more about the patches. And then I just got excited because the patches started working. So tonight I have the pleasure of introducing to some for the first time, my friend, my upline, and person that just knows this business in and out, Miss Verdita Monk.
Well, thank you so much, Bernadette. It's so good to see you. We haven't seen each other on camera or in person for a very long time, and you still are beautiful as ever.
Thank you.
Bernadette didn't tell you all those great things about herself, but she is a retired principal. I have so much respect for her and her work ethic and her business acumen. So definitely, working with like-minded people is something that excites me. But she's going to tell you her testimony very momentarily, and you're going to see the main reason she's so excited. So Bernadette, thank you for hosting this call. You can mute yourself and stop your camera until I call on you again. Okay. And thank everyone else for getting on the call. We're not going to keep you long. I promise you. I try to keep it under 30 to 35 minutes, but we will make it strong because we want you to walk away motivated and excited about this information. And so let me just tell you, Bernadette told you how she got here. Let me tell you how I got here. My husband and I were introduced to this little bitty patch that this is the whole subject matter of this evening, is a patch, a stem cell patch. And a friend of ours tracked us down and wanted us to try this patch. And he invited us to a call just like this, where people were on there giving testimonies. And, we just listened to it because we had so much respect for him. And we heard things rather, that we had just couldn't even imagine people getting those types of results from different things. And so we said, this is interesting. This is amazing. We were on the road to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or about to get on the road to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to fly up there to see my husband's parents. And when we got there, the first thing we noticed was my mother-in-law was rubbing her knee, and she had been rubbing that same knee for 2 years. But in our minds, since the doctor had given her pain medication and all this, there was nothing else we could do because she didn't want surgery. But this time when we saw her rubbing her knee, what clicked in our mind was that, what about that patch that Ken gave us? He gave us a whole bunch of these patches here, and he knew we were going to be around family. And so we put the patch on her that night because we got in that evening, and we put the patch on her, and she went to bed. The next morning she woke up and said the pain had gone. That was amazing because she had been taking, waking up in the middle of the night, putting ointments on, taking pain medication, and the pain kept coming back. Well, this time it didn't come back. It didn't come back for 6 days while we were there. And but so with that being the case, we were inspired and said, well, why don't we wear the patch? Because in our minds, we were thinking we didn't need it because we don't take medications. As far as we knew, we had no type of illnesses or anything like that. So we said, okay, well, we'll just try it because she tried it. We put the patch on and went to bed. And then we literally put it on that night and that next night. And so what I noticed that night was a very, very deep sleep. But what I also noticed was that I didn't hear the snoring that my husband would normally do. He would snore very chronically, with sound like a bear in the room, choking and coughing. Literally, sometimes it was scary. It was scary because it just, if someone to wake up choking and acting like they, about to die and stuff like that, it was scary. That night, he did not snore at all. That was just strange. And the next night, he didn't snore, but it didn't click at first because I just thought, I didn't know what I was thinking. After 2 nights of that, I knew it had to be the patch, but we didn't expect something like that. So I want to make sure you hear that this patch will do a lot of different things, and it's going to surprise you when you hear tonight of some of the things this patch will do. And that was November the 11th. And we have not stopped using the patch since, and my husband has not snored since. You guys, this is phenomenal what you're going to hear about. Now, let me go ahead and share my screen because I want to go ahead and get into the presentation so that you can hear what is all this noise about this patch. Okay, let me get all my stuff, ducks in a row. Okay. All right, so the question of the evening, the golden hour, the golden question is, have you been patched yet? Well, if you've not been patched, you're going to want to be patched because this patch is going to elevate your body. It is going to activate or reactivate the stem cells in your body, and it's going to regenerate everything about your body. It's going to be amazing. You're going to feel amazing. So have you been patched yet? Well, you see on this lady's arm right here, this is something real, real tiny. You literally can put it anywhere on your body, but it's about the size of a quarter and it's thin as a Band-Aid. You have paper on the back, you apply it just like you do a Band-Aid. Okay, so why would you want to be patched with a stem cell activation patch? Let me tell you a little bit of history or information about stem cell technology. Most people think of injections where you go to some doctor, some type of doctor, and they inject you with stem cells. It could be somebody's embryo. There may be some stem cells from another part of your body. I just know that they're very expensive. It could be $5,000 to $10,000 to $25,000 per injection, and there's no guarantee it's going to work. It may be a 30% chance that it doesn't work. It's something that you have to keep going back and getting. And I've heard some horror stories, to be honest with you, but why do people get injections? Because they're in such dire straits with their health. They have such unusual conditions like Alzheimer's, like autism, like, wearing a pacemaker in their heart, just all kinds of things that are just very, just very, I'll put it this way, they're in bad condition. They're in bad condition and they would do anything to help themselves. So I'm getting a little distracted because people are continuing to come on the call, and as they do that, I have to admit them. So I apologize if I seem a little distracted. But here's why you need the stem cell patch, because as we get older, we heal very slow. We heal slower than we did when we were little and young. And what happens by the time we get to be age 30, half of our stem cells are dormant. They don't just go away, but they're just dormant, not doing anything. They're not helping you at all. Okay, let me admit the rest of the people. Okay, and then by the time we're age 60, almost all of our stem cells are gone. This is why you see so many people by the time they're 70 and 80, they start getting dementia, brain fog, Alzheimer's, just bone on bone, Parkinson's, all kinds of things. And they're really very uncomfortable. And so that's why people need or are open to stem cell injections. But more importantly, this is why you want to be patched with a better alternative, and that's the stem cell patch. Now, how does the patch work? First of all, let me describe the patch to you. In the very center of the patch, you barely can see it, but they're made out of nanocrystals in the very center, nanocrystals. And those nanocrystals, once the patch is applied to your skin anywhere on your body, there is heat and light that's reflecting out of your body into the crystals. And when that reflection takes place, a process called photobiomodulation takes place. And what happens when the nanocrystals reflect out of your body, it elevates the copper peptides, which are also already in your body. See, we already have copper peptides in our body, but now we're elevating what we already have. But then something phenomenal takes place. After that takes place, something amazing takes place. Your own stem cells are reactivated. I hope you heard what I said. Your very own stem cells are now reactivated. That part right there was something that scientists said could never happen because just no one could ever do it. Well, we know somebody that did it, and you're going to hear about him in a moment. This right here makes this whole process and this whole patch a phenomenon in the science and medical world. And that's why we have so many physicians that are partnered with this company that you're seeing on the screen right now called LifeWave. But what was happening, these physicians for the last 3 years, when this patch was created about 3 years ago, the company had other patches for almost 20 years ago. But when this one came along 3 years ago, doctors start recommending them for their patients. They weren't looking at it like, okay, I'm trying to, spread this all over the world. But a few years ago, about 3 years ago, a lady by the name of Onyx Cole caught the vision, and she's doing exactly what we're doing. She really started this whole thing of just a revolution, telling everybody about this patch and spreading it all over the world. That's when the company grew from 20 million, as you can see right here in 2021, when Onyx Cole came on board, up to 280 million in the last 2 years. But now guess what? It's right at a little over 400 million and is expected to reach $1 billion in the next year, like in 2024. So now we spread and we've reached over 75 countries. Look at that growth curve. Any economist will say that's the type of company you want to be a part of because it's exploding. Well, here's the genius. I like to give him credit for where credit is due. This man is literally a genius because he is the scientist, he is the CEO and inventor that created this patch. Now, when he first started, let me tell you a little bit of history about him. When he first started, he was commissioned by the federal government for a project that the Department of Defense was doing for the Navy SEALs. And he was commissioned to come up with something to help the Navy SEALs stay energized for over 36 hours at a time. And, that's how it started. It took him 3 years to come up with his energy patch. And ever since then, he created more and more patches. Now he has over 130 patents. Just the fact that he has 130 patents, that right there is amazing. Nobody, has that many patents, but David Schmidt does. And so he just kept staying in the lab, kept creating all these different types of patches. 3 years ago, he came up with the X39 active reactivation patch, stem cell reactivation patch. That was the one that is his masterpiece. So I want you to understand how important this patch is. This is something, again, that that they said it couldn't be done. They said no scientists, all the scientists said nobody can do this. David Schmidt did it. And because of that, he has also received the two-time recipient. He's been the two-time recipient of the Advanced Technology Award from the International Hall of Fame. And so this technology is patented for the next 17 years. We don't consider this a Me Too product that you can get anywhere. We're the only company that you can market this through. And so you're definitely at the right place at the right time, especially if you're catching on to the fact that not only is this helping people, but the fact that this might be a good investment from a business standpoint. Now, how do you wear this patch? I told you earlier, you can put it anywhere on your body you want, but in this diagram, they share it behind your neck and below the belly button, because those are the two locations that were used in the case studies. We had over 80 case studies that took 10 years to create this X39. That right there takes patience and diligence. But you wear the patch 12 hours on and 12 hours off, and then you allow your body to repair and rejuvenate. You definitely want to do that. Then to throw the patch away after the first 12 hours. Next 12 hours later, you put the patch on and repeat the process. You want to drink plenty of water during this, while you're, as you're drinking water. I mean, as you're wearing the patch, you want to drink plenty of water, because it's going to start detoxing your body. You want to flush those toxins out of your body, and it will make the patch operate a lot more efficiently. Now, what you may experience when you wear this patch are some things that these are results that we've seen on other people. You may experience rapid pain relief, like what I told you about my mother-in-law with the pain that she got in her knee. You may experience reduced inflammation. Inflammation is a culprit of many, many diseases that are in our body. It supports wound healing, energy and vitality, mental clarity, enhances sports performance. We have many professional athletes, college athletes. When they put this patch on, they are blown away at their performance. Faster recovery from exercise. That's also something that people are, who are athletic type of people, they definitely notice faster recovery, because you stretch, sometimes you mess up muscles. Improve skin appearance. So many people's skin is improving from different skin diseases, or just getting older, or whatever. So let's talk about this diagram right here, which is the topography map. This topography map was done on a 77-year-old woman who placed the patch on the back of her neck. And this was in one of the case studies that I mentioned. In the first circle right in session 1, you see the orangey reddish area. Well, this represents the inflammation that was in her brain, because this diagram represents her brain. Session 2, all of the inflammation is gone, and just the lighter blue area here represents the stem cell activity. In session 3, now notice so much more stem cell activity. And this was, just amazing. This is what is happening to our brains when we wear the patch. Now, let me tell you some long-term results that, remember I talked about the case studies. These are actual results that resulted from the case studies. Well, they noticed that in the first few days, over 4,000 genes began to reset. Now, compare that to an ingredient called resveratrol that's in red wine. They always tell you that red wine is good for the heart. It makes you, increases longevity. Well, you only get 2 genes reset with resveratrol. We're talking about 4,000 genes. Then within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. It decreases the symptoms of PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Remember the topography map I just showed you, where this lady had all the inflammation in her brain. This is why so many people have PTSD, anxiety, and depression, because they have inflammation in their brain. So put that patch on and get that inflammation out. Within 3 months, people's collagen began to increase. The wrinkles started decreasing. The hair growth increased. The structural integrity of the skeletal and muscular systems began increasing. And that's the part I like, because I've heard so much about older people and they get osteoporosis, their bones are less dense. We don't want to be like that. This is why you notice it says within 3 months. This is why you don't just put the patch on and just because your pain went away, you stop using the patch. You want to continue to use the patch so that you can get all the type of results that you're seeing here. And if you can see what happened within 6 months, imagine what's going to happen in 1 or 2 years. Well, this is the section I like right here. The heart reverses in age within 6 months. During one of the case studies, 14 out of 15 people lowered their vascular age by an average of 8 years after just 6 months of using a patch. So that means that every 6 months that you use a patch, you can anticipate your heart reversing in age, like the tissue, the cells around your heart. You guys, this right here is simply amazing. And this is why, once again, why we're so excited to share this with you. Now, let me go. My screen is stopped. Okay, now I want you to know again that I would go back one page. All of this information that you're seeing on the screen, that we've shared so far, is at a site called startx39.com, because we wouldn't do justice for this. We'd probably be on here several hours just to go over everything you needed to know. So this website gives all the case studies that I talked about. Remember, we have many physicians. Literally, even on my team, I have several physicians that are part of this because they believe in the science. They believe in what this thing is doing. They believe in the technology. And so all those case studies are there. The physicians' reviews, all kinds of videos. The first and second reviews are just videos are just 2 and 3 minutes long, plus the video on the creator and founder himself, David Schmidt. Everything you need is right there on StartX39, including some testimonies. All right. Now, let me go on to the next page. Now, here's just a visual of what I was saying about, the results that people are getting from the patch. Look at the scar this lady has. Just wound healing. We talked about wound healing. 21 days, look at her face. And then down here, this lady, just about a year, all this, wearing the patch about a year, all the wrinkles started smoothing out. She just looks more youthful. And then this gentleman, in about 3 months, his hair started growing back and getting much thicker. This is just all kinds of stuff. We want to show you a variety of things that this patch can do and has done for people. So what we are going to do right now, this is my very, very favorite part. We're going to have a few testimonies just so you can see. It's one thing to me to sit here and talk about it, but it's another thing for you to hear someone that you might know because they might have invited you to this call, to hear a real person say what was going on in their life. So the first person I want to ask to come to the screen is Bernadette Strode. You can unmute yourself and share your camera. And Bernadette, share with them what you experienced when you started wearing this patch.
Can you wait a minute? Okay.
We can see you and hear you.
You can hear me now? Okay. So one of the things that I experienced, well, first of all, let me just say this. When I started, I was very skeptical because I don't like medicines, first of all, and I'm always looking for something that will help me that is not medicinal. So I could not believe that a patch was going to do what it was said to have done. So I had the experience for myself. So having said that, the first thing that I noticed was, not only noticed, I was going to share with my mom, who's 99 years old. I got on the phone, I called her cardiologist, and we've been with him for years and years. And I said to him, I said, this is something that I'm about to embark upon, but I want to run it by you first to see if my mom can take it. My mom is 99 years old, will be 100 in October 29th. She has a pacemaker, but she's very lively. She's all over the place. So he said, well, talk to me about the patch. I said, better yet, I'm going to bring some by and share them with you and leave you something to look at. He said, well, I'm going to tell you first and foremost that if it's not anything medicinal to interact or do anything with the medicine that she's taking, and it doesn't have any metal in it, he said, I think it will be all right. Still did not sit with me. I had to take everything and I took it to him. He got back to me the next day and he said, listen, you give that to your mother. You put that on her knee. My mother she suffers really bad with her right knee. So I started with that. He said, but I'm going to tell you, he said, it's not going to work as fast on your mom, who's 99, as it would work with you. But trust me, I believe it's going to help her. Definitely it's not going to hurt her. Okay. Boom. and put the patch on my mom. I started wearing the patch, and I think I was 2 days into it. I got the best sleep. I slept all night long. I could not believe it. I'm one of those that go to bed. I could go to bed at 10 o'clock and still not go to sleep until about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And when I slept and I felt so good the next day, I said, Then a friend of mine who will not buy anything, he will not trust anything. He did research on it for me, and he said, "You got a winner here." Actually, he tried. He started using it, and he said, "This is something that they did with me when he was at the VA. It's called phototherapy." So I said, "Okay, that's 3 people." I mentioned it to my daughter, and she said, "Ma, this girl won't even take an aspirin." Okay. So she said, "Well, let's see." She said, "But what is it doing?" I said, "Toya, do you remember this hand?" I could not. My left hand, I could not close my hand. I have made a fist now, and it's perfect. It's fine. But this is the one, the real one. I have so many, but I'm going to tell you this one real fast. I'm going to. My doctor, I've been borderline diabetic. My numbers have ranged from around 5, 9 on up to, at one time it went up to 11. I was hospitalized. Fast forward, haven't been for a while. But my doctor saw an increase in my numbers. And he said, "Okay, I'm going to take some blood work." Took it. It was 9. He said, "You got to leave Dunkin' Donuts alone, girl." He said, "This is not good." I said, "Okay." I want to tell you, I went back to the doctor 2.5 weeks ago. I went back and I didn't go to the doctor. I went back for blood work. My doctor calls me after every test that we take. I didn't get a call. I was like, "Oh my God, he doesn't want to call me and tell me my numbers are terrible. They're bad." So I went out to his office on Friday and I said to his assistant, I said, "Marie," I said, "I didn't get a call back from doctor." I said, "What's going on? That's not like him. He doesn't call me." She said, "Well, let me just look. Let me look at everything." She came out and she laughed at me. She says, "He probably didn't call you back because you're doing great. Your number's down to a 6, and you can get down to a 6 in 4 months. You can get down back to a 5." And I said, "Okay." That was the sealer for me. That made me know that I can share this with someone because I now have my own testimony. I can honestly tell you that it works. So that's my testimony.
Well, wait, one minute, Bernadette, and we do need to keep it short because we got some more. But this is the part that you were so surprised about. You didn't even talk about your legs.
I know. Okay.
Can you tell that pretty quickly? Okay,
I guess
thank
I'm
you.
going to tell you pretty quick. I haven't worn a dress in 2 years because I have a bed, a platform bed, and I'm always hitting my legs going in the bed. It would depend. It doesn't even care what size. My legs were so dark and so scaly, and so it was just terrible. So I haven't worn a dress. If I wore a dress in 2 years, I had to be one. It had to be one that I could wear some tights with. So I got out the shower one day, go in there and I said, "OMG, are you kidding me?" I said, "I don't see any marks on my legs." And I was telling my son-in-law that today, and he was like, "Ma, are you kidding me?" And I sent him a picture. Honest to goodness, I never thought that this would happen, but it really did. I'm looking, and I'm going to show you because I did not believe. I don't have a mark on my leg. If you can see my picture right there, you can see. No, you can't really see that I don't have any marks. They were terrible, terrible, to the point where I was embarrassed to put a dress on.
Wow, and I think you said your mom noticed. Was it your mom who said noticed it?
She did. She said to me, she said, "What did you do?" Matter of fact, my mother said to me, "Did you put makeup on your legs?" And I said, "No, Mom.
Wow.
It's
So
just
was that noticeable? It was that
is that
noticeable.
very
Well,
that noticeable."
thank you so much for sharing your
You're welcome.
testimony, Bernadette. I mean, it was
You're welcome.
powerful. Several things happened to you, and I'm glad you got those types of results. So I'm hoping that everybody got inspired by Bernadette's testimony. And what we're going to do is move on to the next person, Miss Brenda Stanley. Miss Brenda, can you come on and share your testimony?
Yes, hi. Hi, Bernadette.
Hi there.
Can you see me? You see me? Okay,
Yes, I
okay.
can.
All right. I was introduced to the patch by my sister Linda, and I am a registered nurse. I have been for about 30 plus years, ICU, and so I've seen it all. I worked at Emory for many years in Jackson Memorial Hospital, and so in
Brenda,
November.
Brenda, can you pull your camera down so
Okay,
you can see your face
okay,
better? Okay,
okay,
thank
very
you.
good. Okay, so in November, I developed COVID, and I had a lot of pain in my left leg. So my sister said, "I'm going to send you some patches in the mail and put them on your leg." So I did. And when I put them on my leg, I called her. I was like, "What in the world?" I said, "Can you believe I'm up walking?" So let's just fast forward. So I started using the patches, putting them on my leg because I had been to the doctor so many times about my left leg. Um, and so I told them, I said, "I think I might even have a blood clot," but they checked and they said they didn't see anything. Nevertheless, in February 5th of this year, I wound up in the emergency room. I was so short of breath. My blood pressure was 80 over 40. And I couldn't speak even in full sentences because I couldn't even catch my breath between words. And so they did, long story short, they did some very fast tests and they said, "Your kidneys are not looking good." They said, "We're going to rush you over to do a VQ scan of your lungs." And when they did the VQ scan, everybody just became so silent. And so the doctor said, he came and said, "Miss Stanley, I'm sorry to tell you, but you have a saddle pulmonary embolism." And I was thinking to myself, "You have got to be kidding me." And he said, "And you have right ventricular strain, so your right heart is distorted. We got to take you up to ICU right now." And the next thing I know, by the time I got to the ICU at that particular hospital, they said, "We're sending an ambulance. We got to get you out of here because you're in such bad condition that they need to do a procedure on you at Piedmont in Atlanta, and they're waiting." So my insurance company called and said, "No, they didn't want me to go to Piedmont. They wanted me to go to another hospital." So I wound up in a different hospital in the ICU, and the doctor came in and said, "Is there somebody that you can call to sign this paperwork?" She said, "Because your heart may stop during the night. And your heart is beating so fast. Your right ventricle is under such strain because of those clots. They're huge. They're on both sides of your lungs, like a cowboy that sits in the saddle. And the clot sits right between both pulmonary arteries. And the leg of the clot goes down each side. And all the doctors kept saying they've never seen such a clot so huge." So nevertheless, let's fast forward. I was in the hospital for almost 10 days. And before they released me, they said they needed to make sure I was able to walk and breathe and so forth, and my saturation would be good. And not only what I told my sister while I was in the ICU, since she insisted on coming out there, I said, "Well, bring me a patch." I said, "I'll put it on myself." So she did bring me a patch, and I put the patch on. That's very nice. I put a patch on myself, and I'm a person that have great faith. I believe in God and science, and I don't know what happened, and they did not do any procedures on me. But when I went back in June of this year to my cardiologist, he did an echo, and he was amazed. This is 4 months later. He said, "There are no clots in your lung." Because prior to going back to the doctor, I had ordered some patches, so I was putting a patch on every other day. And when I went back, he said, "There are no clots in your lung, not one, not even a residual." And I said, "And what about the pulmonary hypertension?" He said, "That's gone." And I said, "And what?" He said, "And the right side of your heart is back to normal, completely back to normal." And he was so happy. He just kept repeating it. to my friend, saying she was in such bad shape. So I know that God answers prayers and God heals and God works through people. And I'm glad that God gave the Life Wave the knowledge and the wisdom to put this patch together. And I have been sharing my story with many people and I have the paperwork to prove it. I have all of the receipts, and I've not had any shortness of breath. I'm just totally recovered.
Wow, Brenda. I just have one question to ask you because this is a powerful testimony. Just in layman's terms, is this something that the doctor didn't think you were going to make? I mean, coming back 4 months, they did not. Is this something that shouldn't be happening?
No, they did not expect that clot that large, because they didn't give me anything to dissolve the clot. I was on blood thinners to prevent further clots, but they were not able to go in to do the thrombectomy to take the clots out. They said because I was such a high risk, and if they did that, I could possibly suffer a brain hemorrhage. So it was like let's wait and see. Let's just wait and see. I had to see pulmonology, cardiology, hematology, every ology you could think of. They had me go into everybody.
But they said I'm just trying to get these people to understand. Doctors saying there's just no way that this clot should have been gone.
In 4 months. 4 months.
It's amazing.
It was completely gone.
Well, we're so happy that you're healthy now, and you seem so happy anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So I just want to say to all of you all, just go tell the world of what this patch has done for you. Thank you so much, Brenda, for your powerful testimony. We have one more, and because we want you to get a broad spectrum of what this patch is doing for people. One more, and that's my friend Robin Clark. She's gonna come on and share her testimony pretty quickly. Thank you, Robin.
Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, Bernadette. Listen, this thing is life-changing, guys. Let me just start with, I think maybe the one thing that was most paramount for me as far as helping me in my healing journey. But I will say to Brenda and Bernadette, wow, the things that it's done for you guys. But for me, it was a month after I had started the patch, and I've been on the patch since January, when my dear friend Verdita called me and said, I must get on the patch. Well, I have always suffered with high blood pressure since I was in my 40s, and I'm now in my 60s. And my father died with blood pressure complications in his 30s. So even with diet and exercise, I still could not control it. So they put me on blood pressure medication in my 40s. And the blood pressure still seemed to be at the level where I was high 140s over high 80s. It just the way it was. And so I found out after a month of being on the patch, when I went back to see my doctor, she was concerned too. What are you doing differently? Your blood pressure is normal. So I am now, and even went to the doctor today, I'm still 120 over low 70s. For me, that was a wow moment. And I'm telling you, sometimes you don't know, but it was healing me at a cellular level. So to begin with, the first week that I started using the patch, which was in January, the insomnia that I had dissipated within a few days. I'm sleeping like a baby and have ever since I started. And my joint pain that I had in my hands is now gone. So all I can say is there's some more things I'm sure this patch is doing for me. And each and every day, I'm amazed at how good I feel. It is truly age reversing. So thank you for allowing me to share, Verdita.
Well, thank you for sharing, Robin, and thank you for being an ambassador and helping us spread the word. I know for a fact that Robin is talking to 5 and 6 people every single day about this patch. So thanks again for all of you sharing those powerful testimonies. And I think that let me go to I think that everybody kind of gets it by now that this patch is doing some amazing things. And so I know that everybody, all the guests on this call is wondering, how can I get some of those patches? It's not hard at all, because the person that invited you to the call has a couple of ways for you to get these patches. First, they may have texted or emailed you this form that you're looking at, or they may have texted or emailed you a link to their website. The good thing about this form is that it allows you to see at a glance all the information that's going to be required so that we can get you in the system. Why do you want to get this patch? It could be because you want to feel better for yourself. You want your spouse, you want to age gracefully, like we are. And or you may say, well, you know what? I caught that vision. I got the vision. I know plenty of people that are having high blood pressure. I know plenty of people that are having heart issues, because we're just giving you a couple of testimonies. I guarantee you, if you get on a call like this every day, you're going to have 3 or 4 testimonies that are going to blow you away, and you're going to say, wow. So why not help your uncle that has Parkinson's, or help your aunt that has lupus, or help your grandmother who has Alzheimer's? We have testimonies of people that have been relieved of all of those just because they wore the patch. So that helps you kind of decide what package you want to get. Because if you said, I just want to be a customer, you can get that for $150, but we have a better deal for you at $125 if you decide you want to get wholesale pricing. I like wholesale pricing because I'm an interior designer. I don't get anything at retail if I can help it. And so therefore, I like wholesale pricing, and therefore you can get the same amount of inventory, same amount for $25 less with what we call our bronze package. If you get the silver package, you're going to get just a little bit more. You're going to get $300 worth, but now you're paying the same $99 a sleeve, but you're not paying the $25 starter kit. This is good for people who are married, and or even single people who just want a little extra because they want to share it with some other people. But the people who have a big vision and really say that there's a lot of people that I must help, I have to help, I have to share this with, you might want to consider the gold, the platinum, or the diamond pack. It just means you're getting more. Because let me tell you, if Ken Robinson had not actually shared some patches with me and my husband, I don't know if I'd be sitting here right now, because it caught our attention. You see what I'm saying? It caught our attention because of the, in my opinion, miracle that was created with my husband. And so we got the diamond pack. Why? Because it gave us way more inventory. We only had to pay $84 per sleeve. So you're getting more for your money. You have more people you can send the patches out to. Every time you share these patches with somebody, guess what's going to happen? They're going to come back to you and say, well, how can I get some more of those patches? I'm glad you asked that. And guess what happens every time you share these patches with somebody? Let's say somebody gets the gold package, the $500 package. The company pays you $100. You were going to tell them anyway. You were going to tell your uncle with Parkinson's about this anyway. So now if he decides he wants that gold package, you make $100. Let me tell you the part that is a little different. And that is, if you do get that diamond pack, a couple things going to happen. I told you save money, $84 a sleeve, or another way of looking at it is 3 free sleeves, because you pay $1,600 for $1,900 worth of inventory. But here's the cool part about the diamond pack. If somebody purchases a diamond pack and you have a diamond pack, you make $500 instead of this $200 that everybody else makes. Everybody else who comes in at these packages on your left, they get $200. Matter of fact, there are people on this call right now that just purchased a diamond package this week. Literally, I know who they are. And guess what? They turn around and sign up some diamond packs, and they made $500 instead of $200. But the other thing that happens with the diamond pack is, we encourage people to take advantage of a concept called residual income. That simply means that this money is going to be coming month after month, year after year, every time people purchase these sleeves on a monthly basis. See, because if your uncle, once again, your uncle, if he decided he wanted to get this silver package, but he's not going to stop using the patches, because if he sees that Parkinson, those symptoms going away in a matter of literally days, he's going to keep wearing the patch. And he's going to tell all his friends about it too. So the company pays you every month as you continue to wear these sleeves, these patches, and other people are wearing these patches. So you start making money while you're asleep. Okay? Now, this is a slide that just shows you, what are some of the most important things in your life? Well, I can almost guarantee that everybody on this call has family at the top of their list. Family, if you don't have family, it's just kind of a lonely world when you don't have family or friends. And then time freedom, That's something you just cannot put a price on, having time freedom. Security. We're at the age, and many other people that we know in our age bracket are at the point where financial security in retirement is really important. We don't know if Social Security is going to still be around. We don't know if Social Security is going to sustain us for the type of lifestyle we need. So please look at how serious, consider how serious being financially secure is. Being able to travel. I just got through thinking about all the places I want to travel today. I made a list of them because they say when you write them down, normally you get what you want. Better health. I mean, isn't no way in the world you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have good health, they say that is nothing like a person, the richest man in the hospital. You don't want to be the richest man in the hospital. You want to have better health and less debt. So let's talk about how you can take advantage of the financial opportunity of this. And what I want to do, I don't know if I got a response from this person. Before I do this, I'm going to see if my friend Mr. Lester Berry can come on here, because here's Lester, can you come on here and let me know if you're available? I'll tell you a little bit about Lester if he can unmute himself. Lester? Okay, so he may not be available. Okay. Mr. Lester Berry. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to keep going because I was going to have Mr. Lester Berry come on here because Lester Berry is a very savvy businessman, and he makes some, I just really respect his big business acumen, and he was supposed to share from you from a business perspective why he decided to partner with us. But let me keep going because we're running into late in the hour and want to get you off this call. I want you to put your business hat on right now and understand that the stem cell industry is exploding. Right now, it's about 200 million, and it's getting ready to explode to 300 billion in the next 4 to 5 years. So whoever is partnered with LifeWave in particular, you're going to be at the forefront of this explosion. So if you were listening carefully, you would heard me say that there's no other company that can market this, and no other one can duplicate this. Remember, it took David Schmidt 10 years to create this phenomenal patch, and to have access to it is something that lets you know you're at the right place at the right time. Now, what's going to happen once you decide to join? Let's say Bernadette, who's hosting this call, you decide you want one of those packages. Let's say you got that gold package, and Bernadette is building 2 teams. She's building a left team and a right team. But when you decide to partner with Bernadette, you're going to fall right here on her left or right here on your right. And everything that Bernadette does, let's say Bernadette enrolls other people, they're going to fall under you. If she brings another person, they're going to fall under you. Whoever's above Bernadette, if they enroll a person, they're going to fall under you. I hope you're catching this. Everybody above you, as they bring in people in this binary compensation plan, they fall under you. You may not even know these people, but guess what? Every single month, when they place their recurring order, or when these people sign up, do you realize that you actually get paid on those people? You do. You actually get paid to infinity, and you can earn up to $25,000 per week in the binary. And that right there is phenomenal. Now let's talk about the matching bonus. This is one of our favorite parts of the compensation plan because there is unlimited income potential. In other words, there's no limit on the number of people that you can enroll. But guess what? If you enroll somebody and they make $2,000 in that binary that I just talked about, you make $500. That's 25%. If that person enrolls 10 people and they each do, let's say $1,000 each, that's $10,000, and you're going to make 20% of what those people made. But if those 10 people enroll 10, there's 100 people right here on the third level. Let's say if they do 1,000, that's $100,000. Guess what? You're going to make $20,000 on the people that fall in your third level when they place their orders. Can you imagine? Over time, this is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. We know people already who've just been in this company about a year that are already maxing out this part right here. They're making over $25,000 a month in the binary. you guys, that's the residual income that you're going to begin to see. And I mean, this is why we're so excited, not only because of financial benefits. We already know we can't even hardly hold on to this patch. You're going to get this beautiful packaging for a 30-day supply. We can't even hold on to them because as soon as we give someone a sample, they're chasing us down to get more. So that's what you call an opportunity, because it's a product that is driving momentum. You may receive your patches in a beautiful envelope packaging just like this. And we can get those for you. There's a website called build331.com. This has all the information you need as far as how do you build this business, how even you can get the patches, how do you get connected, because we have a Zoom call several nights a week. We have a website that has unlimited testimonies on those websites. Look at this page right here on Build 331. You can get connected to the testimonial page. When you pull it up, I recommend you go to your computer, put your phone up to it, and take that camera. You know how they do when you go to the restaurant and scan that bar. Just scan this and you can get connected to the testimonial page. You can get connected to the Facebook page, the Start X39 page that I told you about that has all the information and the build. So we've got a system in place that you don't have to recreate it. I want to remind everybody that's on this call that we still have tickets available to our convention this Friday and Saturday. The tickets have increased to $199 per person, but it does include lunch and dinner on that Saturday. This is something I would highly recommend you sacrifice to come if you can, especially if you live in the Florida area. But this is it, convention.com will allow you to get to that site. That's the site you want to go to so that you can get to the convention. So listen, with that being the case, I want to thank everybody for taking so much time out of your schedule this evening. But we realized this was very important, and we hope that you got something from this. I want to thank Bernadette for pulling this call together, and others that have invited guests to the call. So thank you all. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll get this recording to you as soon as we can. You have a good one.